Did you know that over 80% of folks who rely on baking soda remain completely unaware of its most potent applications, particularly those beneficial for older adults? Absolutely. This everyday kitchen essential, which costs mere pennies with each use, rests unassumingly on shelves in pantries nationwide, harboring far greater therapeutic possibilities than the majority suspects. Indeed, numerous specialists consider baking soda among the most underappreciated health aids available to seniors. Let that thought settle in. How often have you reached for baking soda to scrub your sink, deodorize your refrigerator, or perhaps assist a recipe in rising, all without pausing to consider what additional benefits it could provide, especially tailored to your maturing body? Imagine if I shared that this unassuming white powder has served for more than 100 years in methods that might softly alleviate discomfort, reinstate ease, and address the specific wellness requirements of those in later years. Why does hardly anyone discuss this? And which effective treatments are we collectively overlooking? In this video, we'll reveal 7 extraordinary methods by which baking soda can naturally, securely, and economically bolster senior well-being. You'll discover as well who ought to proceed with care and the smart ways to incorporate it. If enhancing your health matters to you and you're seeking actionable strategies to age robustly, you certainly won't wish to skip this. Let's begin. Prior to jumping in, should you not have subscribed already, I suggest clicking that button and enabling the bell notification so you never overlook another wellness insight crafted specifically for you. Should this video resonate with you, drop a 1 in the comments. If it falls short, enter 0 to inform me on improving the content for you. 1 soothes itchy, aging skin. As time advances, our skin narrates the tale of a richly experienced life. Every subtle wrinkle, every area of parchness, every zone of tenderness serves as a subtle cue of time's soft progression. However, accompanying those narratives arise the unease, the ongoing itch that rouses you during the night, the tautness that lotions fail to ease, and the delicate sensation of skin that was formerly sturdy. These aren't mere nuisances. They represent everyday aggravations that erode ease and serenity of mind. Yet tucked away in your kitchen cupboard could lie an unexpectedly consoling element. Baking soda, renowned for ages in its cleansing prowess, provides moreover a straightforward, natural solution for the aridity and vexation that frequently plague the skin of seniors. When incorporated into a lukewarm bath, this modest white substance converts the bathwater into a mild alkaline immersion that aids in equilibrating the skin's pH level, diminishing swelling and pacifying agitation. Merely half a cup added to a standard tub can deliver striking alleviation. Countless seniors who experiment with baking soda baths describe not only smoother skin, but also a profound sensation of tranquility, reduced scratching, faded redness, and more peaceful slumber through the night. In contrast to store-bought bath additives, baking soda harbors no scents, no colorants, no additives, nothing to irritate skin that's already prone to sensitivity. It's a nod to purity and straightforwardness. Amid a society that frequently bombards us with synthetic selections and exaggerated packaging claims, solace emerges from recognizing that genuine solace can stem from an item so basic and readily at hand. Research affirms what numerous seniors sense directly. The capacity of baking soda to calm the skin arises from its gentle anti-swelling and germ-fighting attributes. It assists in quieting minor eruptions, alleviating the unease of eczema, and reviving the skin's inherent suppleness, all without relying on abrasive lotions or costly interventions. Paired with tepid water, it doesn't merely comfort the physique, it also quiets the spirit. It's a practice of nurturing and a modest gesture of self-compassion that conveys profound meaning. If you've been battling to locate a fix for your scratchy skin, particularly during evenings when unease amplifies, consider preparing a baking soda bath. Allow yourself to immerse in the calm. At times, authentic ease isn't discovered in pharmacies, but in the serene insight of everyday elements. And although baking soda might perform marvels on your body's exterior, you could be astonished by its internal effects, particularly concerning your digestion. Prepared to uncover how it might mitigate one of the prevalent issues faced by seniors? Let's delve further. If you've continued viewing and deeming these observations useful, kindly post the number 1 in the comments to signal your engagement. Now, onward to the second point. 2 eases age-related indigestion. As years accumulate, even the basic pleasure of dining can grow intricate. Foods that formerly evoked warmth and bonds now occasionally provoke distress. That gradual, weighted sensation in your chest, the undesired scorch rising along your esophagus, the fullness that persists well beyond finishing the meal. For numerous older individuals, indigestion evolves into a too-common table mate. It can slip in unobtrusively and linger for extended periods, converting sustenance into disquiet and stripping away the delights that meals once provided so effortlessly. This goes beyond mere aging. It stems from the evolving nature of the body through the decades. The gut grows more reactive, less prompt in its reactions, and quicker to chafe from specific edibles or drugs. And although non-prescription aids might vow swift easing, they frequently bring along adverse reactions or enduring hazards that concern those handling additional ailments. That's precisely why an item as unpretentious as baking soda can appear nearly wondrous. A mere half teaspoon blended into a cup of water, consumed gradually, can help quell the inner turmoil. Since baking soda possesses inherent alkalinity, it counteracts the stomach's acid responsible for reflux and tummy upset. It goes beyond concealing signs. It softly reestablishes equilibrium. There's a stabilizing quality to this cure, one that aligns with a subtler, more instinctive form of restoration. It's neither showy nor marketed. It lacks catchy phrases or buzz. It's simply solace, straightforward and genuine, handed across family lines and validated by evidence. For elders weary of grasping for tablets or rousing with that persistent ache, this time-honored tactic can resemble a refreshing breeze. Naturally, prudence remains essential. Baking soda includes sodium, so for individuals with elevated blood pressure or renal worries, it requires temperate application and professional advice. Yet for sporadic unease, notably following lavish dinners or midnight bites, it serves as a soft supporter, a modest serving of respite straight from your cooking space. And maybe the most appealing aspect is how it returns mending to your grasp. No scripts, no clinics, merely the serene assurance that at times, the form knows how to recover with minimal aid. But the subtle strength of baking soda extends beyond the gut. Actually, its impact on your feet, yes, those weary, sore, and frequently ignored feet, could truly astonish you. Coming up, 3 supports foot health and odor control. Our feet transport us across an entire existence. They've guided us over innumerable doorways, into dwellings brimming with loved ones, down medical corridors, over tranquil paths at twilight. But as age advances, those identical feet start communicating anew with us. They throb following a brief stroll. They puff up unexpectedly. At times they prickle, split, or bear the subtle shame of scent that no sprinkle resolves. And for many in their later years, addressing foot care turns into more than ease. It's about preserving poise. Still, baking soda once more extends a subdued, potent answer. It's simple to disregard our feet until pain insists on notice. But a basic routine, immersing your feet in heated water laced with several spoonfuls of baking soda, can prove revolutionary. This exceeds merely tenderizing hardened spots or scent neutralizing the surface. It's about carving out time amid the day to tend to a bodily area commonly sidelined. As you ease your feet downward into the liquid, the baking soda initiates its tender task, countering scent-producing acids, easing microbial growth, and mellowing coarse or reddened skin. The heat dilates the follicles. The basic nature reharmonizes. And briefly, your feet, those fatigued partners, feel acknowledged, eased, and upheld. What renders baking soda particularly consoling is its minimal demands. No orders, no intricate gear, simply a container, heated liquid, and a scoop of this pantry staple. Elders who've adopted this as a regular weekly practice frequently note diminished splitting, reduced microbial troubles, and above all, reclaimed ease, particularly for those coping with diabetes or constrained movement. And past the bodily solace, there's an element nearly sacred in nurturing your feet. It's a summons to decelerate, to rejoin, and to esteem the frame that has borne you thus far. Scent concerns diminish as well. Owing to baking soda's innate talent for drawing in dampness and eliminating germs, it renders the surface cleaner, less moist, and less susceptible to the infections that commonly afflict maturing feet. But the tending persists onward. For while baking soda can pacify the portions of us that tread the ground, It additionally assumes an unexpectedly supportive function in maintaining the elements that enable us to grin, converse, and sustain nutrition, commencing with our oral cavity. Its role in dentures and dental aids might catch you off guard next. If you've persisted in viewing and valuing these observations, please enter the number 1 in the comments to confirm your presence. Now, let's proceed to point number 4. 4. Freshens dentures and oral appliances. As years bring insight and at times the subdued truths of shifting vitality, one of the most intimate adaptations numerous seniors encounter is transitioning from original teeth to prosthetics, bridges, or alternative mouth gear. Initially, it might evoke a sense of forfeited simplicity, of habit, even of assurance. The oral area, previously overlooked, now demands extra vigilance, extra tending. And still, within that tending, something lovely can revive. There, the soft influence of baking soda creates the key distinction. Distinct from numerous marketed cleansers laden with potent synthetics and faux aromas, baking soda delivers an innate, harmless method to maintain mouth devices pristine, invigorated, and cozy. Simply a spoonful melted in heated water forms a calming immersion, extracting discolorations, dislodging residues, and countering scent-generating microbes. There's reassurance in its nature, unadorned, forthright, and proficient, akin to countless premier cures transmitted through lineages. But this surpasses mere sanitation. For those in later years, upholding a salubrious, immaculate mouth can signify the contrast between dining at ease or in torment. It can signify relishing dialogue sans concern and beaming openly once more. Baking soda aids in safeguarding that liberty. It buffs tenderly sans abrading, sanitizes sans vexing, revitalizes sans synthetics. It renews not solely the purity of your prosthetics, but the boldness to don them assuredly, aware they match the freshness and nurture of your entire being. It's likewise perfect for reactive mouths. Many in advanced age cultivate arid mouths or gum soreness progressively. In baking soda, lenient, neutralizing, and calming, lies a more secure option to fiercer sanitizers that might provoke scorching or unease. Through everyday or periodic application, countless seniors observe their devices endure longer, fit superior, and emit a markedly cleaner aroma. And in that subdued routine, submerging prosthetics in a vessel, observing them steep as the liquid acquires a faint haze, emerges a feeling of command, of possession over one's vitality. It could be minor, yet it's significant. In nurturing these devices, we nurture ourselves. We esteem the capacity to masticate, to savor, to articulate, to bond. But suppose baking soda could achieve beyond preserving a grin's freshness. Suppose it could genuinely mitigate the intense, scorching agony of a gout episode when limbs balloon abruptly and each stride turns arduous. That's our forthcoming destination, and you shan't desire to overlook it. 5 may help manage gout flare-ups. A specific sort of agony exists that solely gout sufferers grasp fully. It doesn't herald softly. It descends abruptly, frequently amid nocturnal hours, seizing a limb such as the large toe or heel with blistering warmth, bloating, and rigidity that seems intolerable. For elders, this torment transcends the corporeal. It interrupts repose, curbs motion, and erodes autonomy. It renders ordinary acts like ambling to the cooking area or rising from a seat abruptly challenging. Gout arises from uric acid accumulation, which solidifies within limbs, sparking swelling. For ages, many have resorted to scripted drugs for solace, and though those prove vital often, a subdued cure resides in most cooking spaces: baking soda. Though it might appear overly elementary to credit, baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate, holds natural alkalinity, enabling it to aid in offsetting the blood's tartness. Certain preliminary investigations and personal accounts indicate that in modest doses, merely a half teaspoon blended into a vessel of water, baking soda could facilitate rendering the form's milieu less hospitable to uric acid amassing. The notion isn't to supplant clinical therapies, but to bolster the form's inner harmony, notably amid initial indicators of an outburst. But beyond its molecular role, solace abides in possessing a straightforward, innate choice nearby. No renewals, no intricate directives, merely a serene instant at the basin, a vessel of chilled liquid, and the certainty of advancing modestly toward ease. For elders sensing burdened by elaborate vitality protocols, this manner of soft self-nurture can feel fortifying. Naturally, it's vital to confer with a vitality specialist, particularly for those overseeing pressure or renal matters, since baking soda bears sodium. But for numerous, when employed judiciously, it has aided in delivering solace not merely to throbbing limbs, but to the fret that frequently trails persistent torment. And as the bloating recedes and locomotion eases, ensuing is beyond bodily solace. It's the reclamation of a minor liberty, the liberty to shift, to amble, to exist sans flinching. But baking soda's talent for pacifying halts not at the limbs. Indeed, it might convey ease where scant anticipate, in those instances of bladder unease that can interrupt your routine. Let's examine its potential there. Next, 6 helps calm urinary discomfort. Scant unease proves more subtly harrowing than the scorching, pricking feeling of a bladder pathway concern. For many advanced in years, particularly females, it can emerge as an undesired, repeated guest. What initiates as mild insistence swiftly evolves into perpetual compulsion to void, only to encounter torment, vexation, and a notion that matters aren't aligned. It upends rest, impacts boldness, and can subtly pilfer delight from daily patterns like strolling, reclining, or even mere chuckling. At this life phase, our forms grow more open to disequilibrium. The innate shifts of maturing, drugs, fluid intake patterns, and even locomotion all contribute. While antimicrobials prove essential often to wholly remedy contagions, something potent and serene persists in locating an innate path to pacify the unease pending restoration's grip. There enters baking soda. Once more, demonstrating that mending needn't always derive from the apothecary rack. A minor quantity, solely a half teaspoon blended into a vessel of water, might assist in lessening urine's tartness, quieting the scorching that renders each lavatory visit a trial. This soft alteration in pH might alleviate vexation, albeit modestly, extending a form of subdued solace precisely when required. It's no panacea and assuredly no proxy for clinical attention when signs endure, but it's a mode of self-nurturing in those brittle instants. A cue that command over your form and your ease endures somewhat. For elders, who frequently balance varied ailments and drugs, this cure's plainness can offer grateful respite. Dignity and solace reside in traversing your day sans that muted throb in the nether belly, in sensing your form collaborates rather than opposes. And for many, a heated vessel of water infused with baking soda transcends a cure. It evolves into a modest deed of renewal. And still, even as we address inner unease, another variety of trial occasionally surfaces, this one evident, keen, and sore. For just as baking soda can mitigate the inner blaze, it might additionally extend alleviation for the minuscule agonizing lesions that manifest in the mouth, rendering even a draught of water burdensome. Let's observe how it conveys restoration there. Next, 7 treats canker sores naturally. It's a trivial item, nearly unseen by others. A sore patch within the mouth, a superficial lesion on the interior cheek, beneath the tongue, or alongside the gums. But for those acquainted with canker sores, the torment proves acute, enduring, and outsized relative to its scale. It halts repasts, renders dialogue uneasy, and converts even a draught of heated tea into a grimacing ordeal. For elders whose mouths may already prove more fragile owing to aridness, drugs, or oral alterations, the bite of a canker sore can deeply unsettle. Though slight, these lesions bear greater import than evident. They frequently follow eras of tension, weariness, or minor harms from nipping or coarse edibles. And while they ultimately mend, the interim days can stretch unduly. In such instance, it's innate to seek something lenient, proficient, and paramount, secure. Baking soda furnishes precisely that, via its innate alkalinity and subdued germicidal traits. Baking soda aids in re-equilibrating the mouth, curtailing the tartness that commonly exacerbates canker sore agitation. A basic swill, a half teaspoon of baking soda melted in a vessel of heated water employed once or twice daily, can pacify torment, curb swelling, and foster mending. It's no mere tale. Even odontological inquiries have demonstrated that baking soda swills can mitigate the unease of repeated oral lesions and hasten recuperation. But surpassing the evidence, something subtly affirming abides in resorting to such an elementary, known material. It's the sort of cure a matriarch might have murmured to you in youth, relayed across eras. It's gratis, uncolored, and bears no repercussions, merely serenity. For elders cautious of novel drugs or potent synthetic swills, this modest answer becomes a lenient ally. And in those serene instants when you circulate the heated water, incline your head rearward and swill away the bite. It's beyond a therapy. It's a respite, an inhalation, a modest deed of self-compassion. And while baking soda pacifies these muted lesions, suppose it could achieve further. Suppose it could genuinely aid your form in functioning superior, bestow upon your sinews greater stamina, lessen exhaustion, and bolster vitality amid exertion or remedial motion. You could find surprise in what follows: the quiet power of simple things, a senior's path to gentle healing. As we approach the ensuing segments of existence, a subdued transition occurs in our health perspective. It ceases being solely about repairing the flawed. It evolves into safeguarding what endures, consoling what's fatigued, and fostering what's left over. On this voyage, plainness frequently emerges as our prime supporter, and scant items incarnate that verity more than baking soda. Across this video, we've disclosed 7 manners this modest white substance can forge a substantive variance in seniors' existences. From mitigating a cankersore's bite to curtailing limb torment, from pacifying bladder unease to invigorating oral devices, baking soda illustrates that at times, the mightiest cures lurk not in labs or secured beyond apothecary barriers. They're already alongside us, precisely there on the cooking ledge, poised for comprehension. But this transcends a mere enumeration of applications. It's a soft cue of something profounder. Our forms merit nurturing even when youth has departed. And that nurturing needn't prove intricate. It can reside in heated water, in serene practices, in elementary components managed with purpose. The deed of blending baking soda into a vessel of water, immersing weary feet at day's close, or swilling a pained mouth. These transcend therapies. They constitute deeds of self-esteem, modest, subdued affirmations that declare, I count. My ease counts. My vitality merits notice. We inhabit a realm that frequently hastens unduly, urging us toward fresher, more ostentatious answers. But for those who've endured sufficiently long, insight lies in reverting to fundamentals. Grace abides in decelerating and locating restoration in the known, candid, and era-proven. Naturally, baking soda serves no universal cure. It demands judicious and attentive use, particularly for those with renal ailments, elevated pressure, or further medical matters. But in apt contexts, it can complement potently a mode of living grounded in awareness, equilibrium, and plainness. And perhaps the paramount teaching of all resides here. Self-nurturing needn't prove costly, burdensome, or advanced. It can commence with a dash of substance, a vessel of water, and readiness to heed your form. For elders steering the subtle equilibrium of maturing with poise, baking soda transcends a cure. It's a subdued escort in chasing serenity, ease, and poise. Thus, the subsequent occasion, you pass that petite orange container in your storage. Perceive not merely a sanitizer. Perceive promise. Perceive restoration. Perceive an enduring comrade, one that might just assist you in sensing marginally improved, successive day. These insights aim to motivate you toward full, genuine living. Now, I'd relish your input. Pause briefly to contemplate, and relay one element you've absorbed and intend to implement in your existence. Let's bolster one another on this voyage toward adopting these verities. If this video pleased you, kindly post a comment with Yakwan. If otherwise, you're welcome to post with your thoughts. Your input signifies greatly to us. Recall to like, distribute, and join our YouTube feed for additional material akin to this. Gratitude for viewing, and cheers to existing, per your preferences.